Okay guys, push subscribe, push like. Right now we're going to go over a little bit on the MELEAH Davis case, and this is requested. And a lot of people are feeling that maybe the biological father and the biological mother played a bigger role in MELEAH's abuse. Well, it's abuse allegations because they never really proved abuse. And so what I want to do is share some articles of what people are saying and what people are thinking about this. But I want to say real quick that I have no feelings either or right now, because I'm the type of person who likes to get all the details before I absolutely judge someone. I mean, sometimes you get upset and you'll kind of jump the gun. But then I slow down and say, you know what, you can't not just have a witch hunt. You have to, investigate. You have to have proof. Okay, so what are some of the things that they're saying? So according to officials at the Child Protective Services, the state agency received a report of allegations of physical abuse in August after MELEAH suffered a head injury. Now guys, I do have some older details. You can refer to my older videos if you want to get more details on the injury. So MELEAH and her brother had been in the CPS custody for the months, and that's according to court documents. Also according to those documents, Brittany Bowens, the mother of MELEAH Davis, was allowed to visit MELEAH and her siblings once a week every Saturday while they were in CPS custody. Their biological father, Craig Davis Jr., was not visiting with his children for unknown reasons, and that's what the court documents state, not something I'm saying. So MELEAH and her brothers were removed from the home and placed with relatives that were chosen to care for the children until they could figure out what happened. And after a long, deliberation and going through the evidence and trying to, figure out if doctors thought this was abuse or whatever, they really couldn't say, hey, this is definitely abuse. They suspect it. They suspect abuse caused this injury. However, the judge ordered them that they could go back home in February as long. So I want to repeat this just once more. So doctors couldn't confirm whether MELEAH's injuries were caused by abuse. And so Bowens was, and actually Davis were sent for parenting classes, if I can spit it out, but they never showed up. So Brittany was engaged in a history or pattern of child abuse and child neglect, according to court documents, and Craig Davis was engaged in a history or pattern of child abuse and child neglect. It really depends on, where you get your sources as to what the information says. No matter what, there was a hearing scheduled for May 22nd. But MELEAH would no longer be here, and it would be far too late. So the problem right now is that the world that is keeping up with the MELEAH Davis case believe that this could have been prevented if the courts had protected the children and never let them return home in February. The CPS did maintain temporary custody, and they visited the home monthly to make sure that everything was okay after the February hearing. But something just didn't seem right, and a lot of people feel like the children were let down. So what we're dealing with now is the fact that a lot of people believe that Brittany Bowens is also the reason for MELEAH Davis's bruises or scratches that you see on some pictures, and possibly even the skull injury. But there's no fact proving that. But that's how people feel. They feel like the mother had something to do with this. They feel like the mother is the one that dropped Darian Vince off at the hospital that you see in surveillance footage. So honestly guys, we still have to get all the details before we throw the stones. So next, what I want to talk about is the fact that QX, and some people do not like me sharing this, but it's the fact. If you don't like it, do not watch these videos. We tell the truth here whether we like it or not. So QX might have, jeopardized MELEAH's justice. Fact. Okay guys, so here's an article I found. It's quite interesting, and it's coming from Houston KPRC. If you want to look that up, I might try to link, if I can remember. I always forget to link these, so I'll get them like a day later, especially if you remind me. So the legal analyst Brian Wentz says that Quinell X's interview with the media about the confession of MELEAH Davis's stepfather, Darian Vince, allegedly made to him could complicate the case rather than help him get a stiffer sentence. Absolutely true. And so in this article, they have a question that says, why do you think Quinell X's discussion about Vince's alleged confession of the dumping of the body of MELEAH Davis could complicate the case? Brian Wentz answers and says, because if a judge concludes it was not a voluntary confession, it won't be admitted into court and the jury won't be able to use it. If the judge concludes it was a voluntary confession, it will be allowed into evidence. The next question was, if the body is identified as MELEAH, what charges could Vince possibly face with the discovery of her remains? So Wentz says, assuming the remains, which they did identify later, were MELEAH Davis, then the charges could be upgraded to a capital murder. That carries a sentence of life without the possibility of parole or death sentence even. If he's charged with capital murder, he will be held with no bond. Now guys, as you know, I have been very busy this week with a lot of things going on, so I've not been able to do the story. Plus, I wanted to give MELEAH a couple of days of peace because I felt like she deserved that, not to have a bunch of drama and accusations and gossip going. I wanted her to rest. So it's been a few days now. I will actually start covering this story a little bit, simply because my heart is with you guys. I mean, I care as much as you guys, and I care about you guys. So, but this is a short story. There was somebody that requested this, so I'm putting it out there. I'm going to be gone most of the day today, but I'll be back with some interesting details on all these missing persons that I cover. So I want to say, I do love you guys very much. I appreciate you. I wish you the best. And I'm giving you hugs because I know so many of you are absolutely hurt by this story. I read your comments and I feel so bad. I wish I could reach out and hug you. So the best thing I can do is send you a hug. Please, guys, be respectful to others and cross your fingers that we do find out the truth. The truth is the most important here. All right, guys. See you soon.